Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly and today I wanted to talk to y'all about my Sunrise on the Readathon TBR. If you don't know what Sunrise on the Readathon is, last year Katie Colson, right here, made this phenomenal readathon, and it was divided into districts and it was very much modeled after the Hunger Games. And this year she is hosting it again. It's going to be a little bit different, but if you like readathons or you've never done one, this is a really great one because it really encourages you to kind of stretch what you may normally read. And so I just wanted to go over some of the books I was thinking about reading. You know that we're trying to read down books on our TBR, so most of the books on here are books that I already own and are on my physical TBR. That way we are reading down our books. Without further ado, let's look at the prompts. Let's look at how things are going to be divided up, because last year there were 12 districts and each was a zodiac sign. This year, my understanding is there are only 4. So it's, earth, fire, wind, air. But then your zodiac sign falls into those, and then everyone has their own competitors, like district 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you don't know who is going to be representing who. I think the Capitol's thought process is that people be more willing to viciously vote people off if they're not sure who is attached to who, versus, okay, look, I'm going to explain this so poorly. Katie Colson has an amazing video on her page. Go check that video out, because I promise you she will explain it so much better than I will. She gets into her character as head librarian, and she has made such a brilliant, in-depth game. You really should listen to how it is from her. But you're divided out into districts, and I am a Virgo, so I will be in the Earth district. I'm going to be looking at things on my computer. I will put up images here so that you can see essentially what I'm looking at as well. Okay, so this readathon is taking place the entire month of July, July 1 through 31, and then every week contestants are eliminated until the end. But every time you read a book, if it fits into certain prompts, you get bonus points, and then you can submit the bonus points, and then basically, whichever district ends up with the most points each week is safe. The one with the lowest loses. And then it goes on until there's one. So this year, the legacy prompts, which are basically what at the core this whole readathon is focusing on, there are these 4. And it is We Remain, which is reading books by a BIPOC author. We Remember, which is reading a book that has been banned or challenged at any point in history, not just recently, but at any point in history. We Resist, which is a translated work. And then We Read, which is from the library. And obviously, Libby, Hoopla, digital libraries count as well. So those are the 4 main ones for this readathon. You're looking for books that fall under these 4 categories. And then there are bonus prompts. And these are read a book with a sun or a moon on the cover, a book that was chosen from a TBR jar like poll, read a book that is 450 pages, or read a book in one day. You have Reader Mentor's recommendation, and on Sunrise on the Readathon's Instagram page, there are more recommendations than you will ever need on there from each mentor for each district, and you can use any of those books. But there's a lot of really good recommendations out there. So I highly recommend going to the Instagram page because it is full of so much good information. Your district's color is on the cover. My district's color is brown. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'm not sure what our color is, because obviously air is blue. No. Water is blue. We'll have to see what color, because she's dropping these things day by day, and I don't know. Last I checked, only water had been released. Let's see if it has changed. Earth is brown. Yes. Which was posted 41 minutes ago. So not crazy for not being sure. Earth is brown. So I need to find books that have brown on the cover if I want to use the bonus prompt. Any amount of brown. Like any amount of brown. Not is that actually brown, but like any brown. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. And then queer representation is another bonus prompt. 3.75 stars or less is another prompt. Goodreads, Storygraph, Fable, whatever you use. And then reading a book that is a 5-star prediction. I left my entire list in the living room. So let me go get that and I'll be right back. And then we will talk about the books that I plan on reading for this. There's also a bingo challenge, and we'll talk about that in just a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. Very, very official looking lists. But let me pull these books. There's a lot of these books. I'm obviously probably not going to read all of them, but I figure it's better to have a wide variety and not read them, and then versus running out and not knowing what to read. So let me grab these real quick and I will be back. Here's some. Here are some. And here's the rest. Plus, I wanted to add the books from my Summerween because I'm trying to do double dipping so that I can use books for both. Now that we've gathered all the books, I figured I would not necessarily tell you what they're all about because there are 26 books here. So I'm obviously not going to give you a synopsis of all of them. I think what I'm going to do, because I wrote down how they fit into the prompts, so I think I'm going to let you know how they fit into my prompts. Before that, I want to show you the bingo cards because there are some of these that fit the bingo card prompts that are not prompts that we've already talked about. And so I wanted to do that real quick. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay. This bingo card is the easy mode. You have take a picture or put a moon emoji, blue or green on the cover, translated, BIPOC author, free space. You can put any book there. Take a picture of the sun or a sun emoji there. So you're supposed to read in the sun, read in the dark. Tag Sunrise on the Readathon on social media from the library, and a book with red or brown on the cover. So this is the easy mode bingo. If you want more of a challenge, which I think is what I'm going to try to do, this is the hard mode. You have disability representation, new to you author, read outside, a book under 250 pages, a banned book, sun or moon on the cover, red on the cover, BIPOC author, blue on the cover, 2026 release, published before 2020, tag them on social media again, free space, something from the library, a mentor recommendation, a book that is a sequel, a book that has brown on the cover, a translated work, a book that has green on the cover, an animal on the cover, a 5-star prediction, a book over 450 pages, an audiobook, a book with a person on the cover, and queer representation in the book. So the only one of those checks notes that I do not have yet. Are any of these over 250 or 450 pages? That I'll have to check because I do have some chunky ones here. So maybe there's one over 450 pages. Like, I don't think Womb City is the biggest. Spice Road, maybe. Hold on, I'm checking. 448, 449, 451 pages. Here we go. Okay, good. So the only thing that I don't have yet is, I'm not sure which ones, I'm sure they're in here, but I'm not sure which ones have disability representation. And I am not sure which one I would consider a 5-star prediction. Maybe Out There. I love short stories and anthologies, so I'm really thinking that one's going to be a 5-star. I'm going to kind of go through these so you have an idea of what I'm looking at reading, and then I will read you my notes to tell you how they're going to fit, whether they're going to fit into the bingo of it all, whether they're going to fit with the legacy prompts, or whether they're going to fit with the bonus prompts. And it is a little bit juggling all at once, but don't worry. This and Summerween are right now the only readathons that I participate in, so I go kind of hard for them. Stick with me. Okay. So first we have A Clockwork Orange. It is a banned or challenged book. It's under 250 pages, and it was a mentor recommendation. Pew is under 250 pages, and I believe there's queer representation in here. I could be wrong, but I think there is. Then I have Pew, which has a rating under 3.75 stars on Goodreads, and I believe it has queer representation, and it's under 250 pages. The last one, and it has blue and brown on the cover, and it is under 3.75 stars on Goodreads. So I'm Waiting for You, which is a translated book that has under 3.75 stars on Goodreads, has green on the cover. Yes, it is by a BIPOC author, and it does have green on the cover. Then there's Womb City. It is written by a BIPOC author. It has red on the cover. It's under 3.75 stars on Goodreads, and there's a person on the cover, which is one of the bingo prompts. Our Sister's Keeper is written by a BIPOC author. There are people on the front. I know it's hard to tell, but there are people on the front. There is just a little bit of red, if I decide to call it for that. And it is a 2026 release. Out There has blue on the cover, and it is under 250 pages. It came from the closet. I am sure there are BIPOC authors in here. There is queer representation in here. And there is green on the cover. No One Will Come Back for Us is by a BIPOC author, and there is a person on the cover. Africa Risen is by a BIPOC author, several BIPOC authors, I believe. I believe it's a short story collection. There is green on the cover, there is brown on the cover, there's a person on the cover, and it's a 3.76, so I wouldn't count it for the prompt, but it is one that is lower rated, so I do want to read it. Then we have Spice Road. It has green on the cover, it has brown on the cover, there is a person on the cover. It is under 3.75 stars on Goodreads, and it is by a BIPOC author. The Night Masquerade is actually the last in the Binti trilogy. I read the first two last year for Sunrise on the Readathon, and so I'm going to read this one this year. I've been saving it for this actually. It is a BIPOC author that is under 250 pages. There is a person on the cover. There is brown on the cover. It is a sequel. It was written before 2020. You might even be able to say there's blue on the cover because her hair is blue also, but I don't know for the prompts if you can. I think for me, as far as bonus points, I think I can only use my district, but for the bingo, if I needed to, if there weren't any other blues, I could use it. Love Beyond Space and Time is a queer anthology, so obviously there is queer representation. It is written by BIPOC authors. It was written pre-2020. There is a moon on the cover, and there are people on the cover, and it has blue if I needed it for the bingo card. And then Love After the End is technically its sequel. It is also written pre-2020. It has queer representation by BIPOC authors, under 250 pages, and is a sequel, and there are people on the cover. Still haven't seen one with animals on the cover yet. I must have there is one. Okay. Lost Ark Dreaming, which is written by a BIPOC author. It is under 250 pages. There is a sun on the cover, and it's under 3.75 stars on Goodreads. Okay, I'm going to talk about these two together because they are the second and the third in a series. You have The Truth of the Aleki and then The Memory of the Ogosi, and they are both written by a BIPOC author. They are both under 250 pages. They are both sequels. This one has brown and blue on the cover, but I can count it as brown for my team prompt. This one has brown and green on the cover, and I can count this one as no brown prompt. There is a person on the cover of both of them. They are both sequels. I think I said that already. But again, no animals. We're getting down. Her Body and Other Parties is written by a BIPOC author. It is under 250 pages. There is green on the cover. And I think that's probably actually more like orange. Yeah. And I believe there is queer representation in here as well. Parable of the Talents is a sequel. It was written pre-2020. There is an animal on the cover. There is red on the cover. And it has been a banned or challenged book. We have The Dead Cat Tail Assassins. This is by a BIPOC author. It is under 250 pages. There is a person on the cover. There is brown on the cover. And is this queer? I need to look it up. I think it might be. And there's queer representation. Then there is Your Utopia. It is written by a BIPOC author. It is a translated work, and it is under 3.75 stars on Goodreads. We have 19 Claws and a Blackbird, which is written by a BIPOC author. It is a translated work. There is a bird on the cover. It is under 250 pages, and it is under 3.75 stars on Goodreads. And actually, I believe this is one of my lowest rated books on my bookshelf potentially, but I think of this TBR, it is the lowest one. It was like 3.14, which is crazy because this is the same author who wrote Tender as a Flesh that was like wildly popular. So I'm interested to see why this was so low. Oh, and it also has been banned or challenged. Well, my mic died here, and so there's a portion of this that has no audio, and then apparently my camera just kicked back to its default setting. So what I was trying to say here was that Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop. It's written by a BIPOC author. It is a translated work. There's blue on the cover, there's a person on the cover, and there's an animal on the cover. But yeah, sorry about this. I think it's only for 3 books. The next book is Hamajang Luck, and it is written by a BIPOC author. There is queer representation. It is under 3.75 stars on Goodreads. There's a person on the cover, and there's red and green and a little bit of brown right there on the bottom, so you could count it for any of those 3 colors. The next one is Glory. There is an animal on the cover. There is a sun on the cover. It has green and red on the cover, and it was written by a BIPOC author. I think there's only one more book. I think it's Fathom Folk, and then I believe the audio cuts back in. The last one is Fathom Folk, and I was actually wrong about the rating for 19 Claws and a Blackbird. It was actually a 3.12, and Fathom Folk is actually 3.14, so it's under 3.75 stars. It's my second lowest for this TBR. It is written by a BIPOC author. There is red and green on the cover. I don't think we count dragons as actual animals because they're fictional, but there is a sun on the cover. I don't know if we count mermaids count as people. I think they should count as people, right? So there's some mermaids here, and yeah. So I am curious why this has such a low rating, and hopefully maybe I can get around to it. So then I have one more that should come from the library, right? Because you need a library read, and all of these technically came from my house, but I do have one that I'm getting from the library that I do not own. It is The Children, and it has a moon on the, it has a moon on the cover. Sorry, I'm trying to do this in my brain. But it will be a library borrow. It's also a 2026 release. I think there are people on the cover too. If you don't have blue for your bingo board, it has blue on the cover. And it looks like, do we count? Is that an insect? I can't see it. Oh, it's bees. Bees could technically be an animal. They're not, because they're not mammals, but we didn't say mammals. So maybe bees count. But anyway, that is my potential TBR for Sunrise on the Readathon. If that sounded interesting to you, if you want to kind of gamify your reading for the month of July, then check out the Readathon. If not, then I probably will do a couple of updates, maybe like halfway through and then at the end to kind of check in and see where we're at. Other than that, I have a lot of books to put back. I may just put them all on my book cart since I want to read them next month. Maybe that makes more sense. But there's 26 sitting here, plus The Children would be 27. And that's if I read all of these books, and it has the books that I picked for summer weaning here too. I mean, I read 30 last year, so it's doable. We'll have to see. If you have read any of these and you know that they have disability representation in there, please let me know so that I can mark it, because that's one of the only things that I don't have is for sure disability representation. I am sure it is in one of these books, but I don't know which one. So if you have read it and you know, please let me know. I would love that. Thank you for spending time with me today while we kind of talk about my TBR. If any of these titles intrigued you or you want to know more information about it, I hope that you look them up at your library or at least look them up on Goodreads. Thank you for spending time with me today. That is all I have today. May the odds be ever in your district's favor, and I will see you next time. Bye. We are definitely pretending like I haven't just changed my shirt several times to make all these videos, because why would I do that? Gross. Brain. I need something. I need a lot of something. Okay. Nah, I gotta stop bumping that. Where are you? Bish. I'm gonna trust myself, bros. Broskies. Who am I to talk like that? A dumbass. Editing Kelly's gonna hate this. 10 years later, because I didn't put them in order. Which, oh my gosh, I can't talk. No. Everyone fell over. Let's look at it together. Nuts.